What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. It's the best one, Donnie here, back with a brand new episode of Hot Takes. Before we get into our hot takes this week, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course, you already know, the grind is real. And before we get into our hot takes for this week, I just want to, first start this off by saying normally we do our hot takes episodes every Sunday in the afternoon, but today has been, a little bit busy, so I apologize for, having this episode of hot takes come out a little later than normal. But just so you guys know, Wrestling Hot Takes, we do them every Sunday here on the We Are Wrestling channel. And this week, it's nothing really hot. We are going to be talking about the reports that came out from, all the, wrestling sources out there that WWE is interested in bringing back Chelsea Green and Mia Yim. And of course, the main event for Hot Takes, I want to talk about Chelsea Green's husband, Matt Cardona. Because, of course, with WWE being interested in Chelsea Green, there's definitely a lot of speculation going around that WWE could also be interested in Matt Cardona. And I kind of want to give you guys my hot takes on that. But, of course, we're going to start off with the reports with Chelsea Green and Mia Yim. And I want to give you guys my hot takes. So, my thoughts on WWE being interested in both Mia Yim and Chelsea Green, I think that these two talented women, they were definitely released sooner than we all expected to. I know Chelsea Green got called up to the main roster before getting released, and unfortunately she never really was able to show what she could do on the main roster due to a really bad wrist injury. And when, she was one of the released in the list of people that got released and the budget cuts, a lot of us, wrestling maniacs were very surprised by that, and I was as well, because I thought, they did have some plans for her. I remember her, entering the Rumble that one year in the women's, and that was it. We didn't really get to see much of her. They weren't really using her properly, and that was around the time Vince McMahon, was running things with creative and stuff, and it would be very interesting to see Chelsea Green come back, I think, under Triple H. I think what he's trying to do now, he brought a lot of men back. We got a stacked tag team division now. We got a stacked, got top guys now in both promotions, Raw and SmackDown. And I think now he's trying to definitely get the women's division back up, which so far, since he's, taken over creative, I think the women's division has been looking very, very good the last couple of months. I definitely, got to give Triple H credit where it's due. And especially Damage Control, I really do like the faction there with Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Sky. I think, the women's division is getting a lot better. There's definitely still some areas where they do need to improve, and bringing in a veteran like Chelsea Green, who's been, wrestling, for years, because she's done a lot of stuff outside of WWE with Impact Wrestling and stuff. I think that would be a huge W for WWE to bring her back. But now, do I want WWE to bring her back? No. I do not want to see Chelsea Green, go back to WWE. And my only reason why I don't want to see her go back to WWE is because this is not the first time that they have fumbled the bag with her. They have fumbled it. Because I believe this, she's been in WWE 2 different stints. And both times didn't work out. And I'm sure, she would have a successful run if she, got the opportunity given to her. But so far, what her and Matt Cardona have been doing outside of WWE has been remarkable. It has been phenomenal. It's been amazing to see. And, I'm surprised that AEW has not even, signed Chelsea Green. Very surprised. But at the same time, she is absolutely killing it right now as Matt Cardona's valet, and also, as a woman's competitor as well with Impact Wrestling. Right now, her and, Deonna Purrazzo, they're doing great, as a tag team, which I do know that they both dropped the titles as well. But I don't know. I feel like she's been so far having a pretty decent run, just like Matt Cardona, which I'm going to get into later on here on Hot Takes. So I don't know. I would love to see her back on like a big screen, but at the same time, I'm really enjoying what she's doing now. And maybe that's just me being selfish, but I think, Chelsea Green, definitely WWE's got to be interested in her. She's been doing a lot of freaking great work outside of WWE. And, this is going to be the third time that, she gets a chance, hopefully. But we're definitely going to have to wait and see if more reports come out. And now the next one, Mia Yim, I think that she's definitely going back to WWE, hands down. Her Impact contract ran up. I think, that was one of, Triple H's girls right there. Triple H definitely had big plans for her, and then unfortunately, Vince McMahon put her in a terrible group with put her in Retribution, and after that, she was a part of the budget cuts, and they released her, and she went out and proved why she is a phenomenal women's talent. I definitely could see her going back into, the main roster, maybe, form a tag team with another woman wrestler, and maybe become, future WWE women tag team champions. And she's very phenomenal as well. And I think if WWE, I think it was Raquel Rodriguez. She, on a recent interview actually went out and said that she thinks that the women deserve to have a mid-card title similar to the WWE Intercontinental Championship. And honestly, I could definitely see Triple H doing something like that probably next year. I think we're definitely going to be getting that. And two veterans that have been in the business for a while, like Chelsea Green and Mia Yim, they bring more to that division, and I can see why Triple H, would be interested in bringing them back to WWE. And I'm sure, some of the AEW women that got signed, like Toni Storm and Amber Moon, I'm sure that WWE definitely, if they were free agents right now, WWE would pick them up ASAP. Because I know Triple H, had big plans for Amber Moon, who now is going by Athena. And also Toni Storm, was a big part of the NXT UK as well. So I think, Triple H definitely showing interest in some of these, women performers. Definitely he's trying to get the women division back to where it is right now, because with the men's, he's brought back a lot of, guys to, the main roster, and honestly, so far, Triple H has been hitting friggin' grand slams, and he's been hitting home runs with a lot of these. And I'm very impressed with what he's done so far, and even with the women's division so far, he's been utilizing a lot of their talented women. And I think, bringing Chelsea Green and Mia Yim would be a huge W. I think Mia Yim is definitely going back to WWE, 100%. I don't see her going to AEW. I feel like they have nothing for her. And if she goes to AEW, I think it's going to be a similar situation to Athena. Because Athena got signed to AEW. I was shocked. All of us, We Are Wrestling Maniacs, were shocked. And what has happened since she signed? Nothing. She's had some title opportunities, but besides that, nothing. And she's very talented. She does not deserve to be doing nothing. She deserves to be out there, performing and, doing what she loves. And I feel like Mia Yim would be in a very similar situation as her, and I think she definitely sees that, and that is why I see her jumping ship, going back to WWE, seeing that Triple H now is in control, and, her having probably a successful run. Maybe pair up with, another person and, form a pretty cool tag team, because I think, WWE, they got a lot of great women performers. They definitely should give them a mid-card title, and we need to get more tag teams for the women having those titles if you want to make them relevant. But I do think that Mia Yim will definitely go back. Chelsea Green, that's a 50-50 only because of the Matt Cardona situation, and we really don't know what to expect there. But now, the best part about this hot takes here is giving you guys my hot takes on Matt Cardona going back to WWE. So before, I give you guys my thoughts, I just want to say these are not reports. The Matt Cardona thing has not been reported. It's Chelsea Green who's been reported. And a lot of, wrestling fans, a lot of wrestling maniacs have been talking about Matt Cardona maybe going back to WWE. And that is where the conversation I want to start with Matt Cardona, because in a recent interview, somebody, asked Matt Cardona this and about the return going back into WWE, if he ever would. And he said, and I quote, I am not trying to get back to WWE. But I'd be lying if I said I never wanted to have a WrestleMania moment again, or I never wanted to wrestle at Madison Square Garden. Of course I would. If Triple H called me right now, if I had that 203, that's the area code for Stamford, Connecticut, of course I'd pick up. But right now, I'm focusing on being the best me possible and having the most fun possible and making the most money possible. And my thoughts on Matt Cardona going back to WWE, it's not going to happen anytime soon. I know I did make a prediction not that long ago saying down the line, I definitely see him going back to WWE at some point in his career. But right now, with him being red hot, being listed 13 on the Pro Wrestling Illustration Top 500, and, having a successful freaking tag team run right now with Brian Myers as the major players, also doing the Major Wrestling Figure podcast with Smart Mark and Brian Myers, and, having a pretty good run in Impact and having a very successful run in GCW and NWA, I don't see Matt Cardona going back to WWE anytime soon. Right now, in Matt Cardona's career, this is the best work he has ever done, and I think he, took advantage of an opportunity. He was going to, leave WWE when his contract was up, but when he was a part of, the budget cut, Matt Cardona, decided that he was going to make the best of the situation. He went out to the Indies and he proved that he can be a top guy. And I definitely don't see him going back to WWE, not yet. The man has more that he wants to do, outside of WWE right now that he wants to accomplish. And I'm not saying Matt Cardona is going to AEW because I don't think he's going to go to AEW. If it's definitely between WWE and AEW, Matt Cardona will definitely pick WWE over AEW any day. And you can't blame the guy. And I think when it comes to that interview, what he said about, I'd be lying if I told you I don't want a WrestleMania moment again or wrestling in Madison Square Gardens. I think any wrestler, any professional wrestler, when they're young or right now in the business, they would want to be wrestling in Madison Square Garden. They would want to be freaking wrestling at WrestleMania. It's honestly the biggest show in, wrestling, still to this day. AEW All Out has nothing compared to, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, or SummerSlam, if I'm being completely honest. And I'm not one that bashes AEW, and the We Are Wrestling Maniacs can back me up on that. I call the bullshit out on all sides of professional wrestling, and I call out the good. But AEW pay-per-views have nothing when it comes to WrestleMania. Nothing's bigger than that. And I think that any wrestler would be lying to you if they said they didn't want to wrestle in Madison Square Gardens or even WrestleMania. So I think Matt Cardona has a very valid point there. But do I see him definitely going right now to WWE? No. I think in 2024, Matt Cardona will return to WWE. I think around the time that MJF, has the bidding war going on, that's when Matt Cardona, I think, will accomplish everything he wanted to do outside of WWE, and he is going to be doing, the same. He's going to go back to WWE for the same reason Drew McIntyre went back to WWE, and that is to try to win the WWE Championship and be a main event guy on the biggest stage. That is going to be the reason Matt Cardona goes back in 2024. And I think, Chelsea Green, really helps him a lot when she's, his valet. It reminds me a lot of, old school ECW with, Shane Douglas and, Francine. It really gives me that vibe. And I feel like, Chelsea Green is definitely a major asset to, Matt Cardona. And if, she goes back to WWE, I would love to see them two go back together. I think that they can, do a lot of stuff. Even Brian Myers going with, Matt Cardona as well. I think they could do a lot of stuff there. And I think, with Matt Cardona right now, he's in a very good position right now. He is, probably making a lot of friggin' money doing what he loves right now. He's, doing lots of other ventures like the Major Wrestling Figure podcast and, getting to do these, major shows, talking about what he loves, and that's, wrestling figures. I don't see him going back to WWE yet. But the big reason why, I'm not saying he's never going to go back. I think later on in his career, he will go back there. And I think it's going to be Cody Rhodes that, brings him in, because both of those two, they have a really solid relationship. And, Cody Rhodes even said when he kept the whole WWE thing on the low, and the one person he taught, one of the, handful of people that he talked to was Matt Cardona, and he even said that he was surprised that Matt Cardona told him to go back to WWE. I think, down the line, we will see Cardona back in there, but we'll definitely have to see what happens. I think right now, Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona need to stay outside of WWE and continue doing what they're doing, because let's be honest, WWE has been bringing back a lot of pretty big names and a lot of people that, we thought, have lots of potential of being a big star. But you got to remember, there's only one WWE Championship. There's only one Universal Championship. We have one Intercontinental and one United States Champion, and maybe another title will be coming soon, because I've been hearing stuff about a European title coming back soon. You have to realize there's only a certain amount of spots, and there's only a certain amount of hours on television. Fortunately, WWE is lucky to have 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, an hour of NXT, it's 2 hours of NXT, and 2 hours of SmackDown. They're very fortunate to have that compared to AEW having 2 hours of Dynamite and 1 hour of Rampage. So when it comes down to it, I think that I know a lot of us are very excited. We want a lot of our, favorite guys and girls to come back to WWE or AEW, but we need to, have some guys outside of there striving and really helping the business grow. And I think, Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona are definitely prime examples of that. I do think Mia Yim will go back. But let me know, guys, in the comment section below what you guys think about Chelsea Green, Matt Cardona, and Mia Yim. Just remember, Matt Cardona, those are not reports. That's just, a lot of fans speculating because of the reports of Mia Yim and Chelsea Green, which is, Matt Cardona's wife. But if you guys enjoyed this week's episode of Hot Takes, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, not a part of the thousands, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. The links are down in the description below. You can go follow me on my social medias and other YouTube pages, all that down below. And we'll be having a new episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show this Tuesday, which is usually every Tuesday. We'll be having a live stream on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I don't know what we're going to be doing yet on there, but we'll probably have more details on our social media. And later tonight, we'll be, releasing the Rampage reactions that you guys are not going to want to miss. But of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.